In this demonstration, we will observe the dancing gummy worms experiment. Once we have performed the experiment, we will use our understandings that we have gained on chemical reactions to make sense of our observations. What you're going to need for this experiment is baking soda, white vinegar, gummy worms, water, and a couple of containers. I have started off by cutting my gummy worms in half. This will make them a little bit lighter, and I will get some better results from my experiment. Next, what I'm going to do is take my smaller cup here, and I'm going to pour my water into it. To my water, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of the baking soda. Next, I'm going to use my spoon to mix up my baking soda solution. And I will add my gummy worms and let them soak for 15 minutes. While we wait, jot down your predictions for what you think will happen once we drop the gummy worms into the vinegar. Okay, so I did a trial run and it was not working the way that it was supposed to, so I ended up dumping out a lot of the water in the baking soda solution and adding a bunch more baking soda. So now we're sitting at about half a cup of water and 4 tablespoons of baking soda, and we're going to try it again here. So I'm gonna use my fork, and I'm gonna dig out some of the worms. In this experiment, we watched the reaction between baking soda and vinegar. This reaction actually occurs in 2 steps. Here is our first reaction. Take a moment to try and figure out what type of reaction this is. If you said that this was a double displacement reaction, you are correct. In this reaction, the acetic acid in the vinegar reacts with the sodium bicarbonate to form sodium acetate and carbonic acid. Here we have our second reaction. Take another moment to try and figure out what type of reaction this is. This was a decomposition reaction. Because the carbonic acid is unstable, it undergoes this reaction to produce the carbon dioxide gas. In the 15 minutes that our worms were soaking, they took up some of the baking soda out of the solution. The carbon dioxide bubbles produced in our reaction stuck to the body of the gummy worms, and as they merged together, they eventually formed bubbles big enough to float part of the worm up. Once the bubbles detached, they would float to the surface and the gummy worm would sink down. That's why we had some that stayed at the bottom while other ones were carried to the top of our container.